Hey, Wentworth World Entertainment, and James Gunn truly is the clown of the DC world at the moment, and so out of touch. He's doing this thing now where he seems to be going after the SnyderVerse, more so the fans, but he's doing it in such a way that it doesn't come off immediately when you're looking at it as if that's exactly what he's doing. But then you just hear the way he's talking and you go, oh, you're being a real piece of crap here with what you're actually saying and how you're saying it. And at the same time, he's trying to make himself like the bigger man and that he's great and it doesn't affect him in any way. Now, I wasn't really going to do anything regarding his conversation about this stuff because it all comes about with this so-called boycott of Superman from the SnyderVerse fans, which, as I said in a previous video, that's really nothing. It's just one guy apparently kind of going, oh, we should boycott this, and a few people kind of going, okay. And it's like, yeah, whatever, dude. Nobody really is paying attention. And of course, the worst thing James Gunn did was start bringing up Henry Cavill again. But then, of course, this is a big interview, and it's a big-ass interview with Rolling Stone. And of course, they play their part in this as well with their stupid questions and kind of, you know, want to just flat out say, oh, aren't fans toxic? They don't quite go there. But we'll have a look at this part where they ask him about the SnyderVerse fans wanting this to fail and what his response is. And just when you hear the response and what he talks about and where he thinks controversies come in and why it's a controversy, just shows you how out of touch he actually is with the actual fan base of these characters. So here was the question that started all of this regarding this whole thing regarding the SnyderVerse and their fans and stuff. Rolling Stone said this: with this movie, you have people actively rooting against you because they're fans of a previous incarnation of Superman and DC / Zack Snyder's. And apparently Gunn acts with fake surprise and a laugh and goes, what? And Rolling Stone says, as you may have heard. So this is James Gunn's response. I'm trying to think of how to say this best. By the way, he fails. I don't mind it. I think it's good. I think you don't want to have everybody rooting for you. And I have an actor who reads everything online. I don't want to say who it is, but he'll read this article and he'll know who it is. It's one of the top 5 in Superman. And this actor gets so upset over things that people say. I said, first of all, you realize that the trailer came out and the reaction was 97 to 98% positive. These people help us because you don't want everything to seem 100% positive. First of all, that first part is stupid. Why would you not want everything to be 100% positive? If you're given the top notch of what you can do, surely you would want it to be 100% positive. Why would you want people rooting against you? He's saying, like, you don't want everyone to root for you. Why? Sure, you would want them to root for you. And then, of course, the top 5 actors in Superman, he's talking about one of the actors, which he's just flat out thrown under the bus by saying they've a thin skin because they don't like hearing this type of stuff. So it's like, oh, they're one of them, are they? So he continues anyway. It's alright to have an opposing force every once in a while. Some of the things get ridiculous. I just know that every time something comes out, it doesn't matter how positively received, there's gonna be something that is of great controversy. It was great controversy that the sun caused Superman pain. Rolling Stone jumps in and says, but that's not what was happening. That was his bones snapping back together, right? Gunn continues, it's like when a doctor resets your bone. You scream, but it doesn't effing matter. Because is that really a controversy? Is that really something that you're upset about? Or did you have a hard time finding something to be upset about? That's always going to be that. There's going to be something that people are upset about. And that's okay. This actor reads everything. He reads every effing Reddit thread. He watches all of the videos, including by the people who make their living by hating us. That's how they make all their money. But you don't have to watch their videos where they're talking about how we're awful. You can't be reading it all the time. It'll effing murder you. It's a terrible thing to do to your soul. And then they say, is the actor David Cornsweet? He's like, it's 100% not David Cornsweet because he's not a normal person. He is Superman. I love the way he throws YouTubers into his attack here with the, oh, there's people who make their living off videos hating us. It's like you're already showing that you don't understand what the controversy is and why people are arguing. To start with, the likes of me and everyone else, Critical Drinker, I don't know, Geeks and Gamers, Heels vs. Bayface, all of them. No one is looking and saying, this is so stupid. The sun is hurting Superman. Oh, this movie's gonna stink. It's gonna fail. Look at how stupid. No, the question is an actual nerd question. It's things nerds talk about all the time. And that is the difference you can already see between the conversation surrounding this Superman and Fantastic Four. With Fantastic Four, it's like, of course they're going all girl boss and all that crap again. A female Silver Surfer. The usual. However, the conversation around Superman is, can Superman really do that? Why did that thing do that? Why is that baby there? Is that actually Metamorpho's baby, or is it it's nerd conversation? And the conversation regarding the sun is, why would the sun hurt Superman? It wouldn't. His bones being put back into place, which they're trying to say if that's the case, that probably still wouldn't hurt Superman. He's the Man of Steel. And that's the thing. That shows you how much James Gunn didn't understand the character. It's like, that shouldn't be hurting him. That's his energy source. That's what gives him his strength and his power. Why would that hurt him? And the fact that he's now going after people because they've said that apparently is a controversy. What's not a controversy? It's a simple question. Why is the sun hurting Superman? And the fact that he goes after everyone with that, saying like, oh, this actor reads everything and it's going to blow his mind. So, and he watches all these horrible people on YouTube. You don't watch them people. They're making their money off of us. James Gunn, you do realise you people make your money off of us. If it's not for us paying our money to watch your movies fail. Therefore, you get no more jobs. If every movie you put out fails, no one's going to hire you. No more payday. Your movies are based off our response. Whether us, the fans, the paying customer, actually pay our money to watch your movie. And the fact that you're trying to throw pretty much everyone under the bus who doesn't agree with you. And you can see how he says that, like, oh, it's, you don't want it all to be this way. But at the same time, he's like, oh, just don't read that stuff and leave it alone. It's like a bit contradictory when you're like, oh yeah, it's good to have this kind of conversation, bar the fact that you clearly said you don't want to have the conversation because you're just telling everyone, ignore it, don't listen to it. And it's so ridiculous. And like, his conversation goes on and on and on, but you really just see how out of touch he really is when it comes to not just fans, but to the whole idea of why people aren't all that pleased with certain things you've done with the character. You know, that is where you're kind of going, this makes no sense. And he got asked another question. I can't remember what the question is. I can't find it either. I'm not sure where it was, but he was saying like, and it really just showed you how stupid it was. He was like, oh, that's not how I feel. Oh, that's what the question was, how does he feel about all of the pressure being put on Superman? That if Superman fails, it pretty much means the end of the DCU, that everything hinges on that movie. And he didn't say, well, it doesn't, you know, it kind, we already have things in place. Or he didn't say, well, there is pressure, but it's not as much. No, he said, well, it's not like that for me. My truth is that it doesn't need to be the biggest movie ever. And then he was saying, all I have to worry about, like, it's not the be all and end all of the DCU. All I have to worry about is making the money back for my movie. Everyone else is in the DCU was fine. And right there, you're like, your truth. So you're basically saying, you're telling yourself it doesn't need to be the biggest movie ever. Even though he then says, all I have to worry about is my movie making its money back. And that's where the proper issue is because, well, you're not going to make your money back because you need about $1.2 billion to just start making your money back. That's not happening. That is not going to happen. So the fact that he's trying to say, oh, as far as I'm concerned, it's not an issue. It is an issue. And the fact that Warner Brothers has even said, oh yeah, a lot's riding on this movie, tells you everything you need to know. So with that, I shall leave it there for this one because you're just seeing just how out of touch he is and what kind of moron he really is and how full of himself he is. And it's just, you know, the more he talks, the more people's interest in this movie dwindles down. So best idea is for him to stop talking. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.